Hello, my friends, and welcome to our full moon in Capricorn reading. If you found your way here, you need some of this Capricorn energy that is going on here. We're going to be talking more about your professional and public persona mostly, but since the sun is in Cancer, we're going to be talking about like your work-life balance as well. The spread itself is what professional public patterns do I need to release? Where am I over or under committed to my responsibilities? What value am I placing on my achievements? How can I bring balance to my professional and home life? How are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy? And what commitments am I ready to make in this Capricorn season? The decks we have to choose from today, I went a little wonky on some of them, but I was just feeling called. We have the Witch's Tarot with a piece of Tiger's Eye. We have the Regina Tarot with a piece of Tourmalinated Quartz. And we have the Buffy the Vampire Tarot with a piece of blue Goldstone. So take a deep breath, pick your pile, then find your timestamp below, and we'll get on with the reading. Hello, Group 1, Pile 1. You have selected the Witch's Tarot with the Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is for empowerment. It's got kind of the sun-moon balance there, so we're getting the work-life balance in there, but it's also about just energy and go, go, go. So we are going to do a little shuffle here and pull your cards. We are looking at what this Capricorn season is bringing to you. These readings usually are good for about 6 months. Oh, that one's popping out. All right. So card number 1 is what professional public patterns do I need to release? We've got the 10 of Cups. Card number 2, what am I over or under committing to with my responsibilities? We've got the King of Pentacles. Number 3, what value am I placing on my achievements? We've got the 9 of Swords. Number 4 is how can I bring balance to my work and professional and home life? Got 4 of Cups. Number 5, how are my actions aligned with my goals and my legacy? We have got 4 of Pentacles reversed. And number 6, what commitments am I ready to make? We have got 2 of Cups reversed. Okay, what professional or public patterns do I need to release? The 10 of Cups is usually a really positive card. It usually means, you know, really good home life, satisfaction with things as far as emotions, and I usually always see this as like I've got everything as the happy family card to me. So what professional public patterns do I need to release with this? If we're talking more about your internal, your family, seems to be going well. Based on what I'm seeing here with the Pentacles, we have more Cup cards coming up. I feel like you do have a really good solid grasp on your home and personal and family life. I feel like you have it covered there. You feel like things are going pretty well. You know, and families are chaotic. That's just how it is. But when you look at yourself compared to maybe other families you know, or other people that may be in not as great situations, and you could just thank your blessings every day that things aren't going as bad as they could. When it comes to your professional and outward, persona, I think you have a feeling that people don't take you as seriously professionally, or when you're out and about and your public persona, you really tie it back to your family and your home life a lot. I think maybe it's a possibility that other people, and we're in Capricorn, we're going into Mercury retrograde, so communication is going to get foobar here in the next few months, that the perception is maybe other people have some resentments on how you put yourself out there as far as having it all. I don't think it's a facade. I think, you are doing really well, and you kind of want to brag a little bit, especially when you see that just so many people just don't have what you have. So when we're talking about your public persona, maybe take a step back on that and start looking at maybe releasing the need to be the star of the show, and letting other people kind of have their time in the sun too, and maybe do it in a way where you're mentoring or helping a little bit. Where am I over or under committing to my responsibilities? Again, King of Pentacles is all about, having the home life, tied up. It's good foundation, solid. You are the king of the castle, and you feel pretty good about it. Maybe, again, we're going back to maybe we are overcommitting on the family life. And family is absolutely 100% super important. And I'm not discounting that at all. But if your concerns right now are with your public persona and your professional life, we need to kind of focus on how you can drive those skills into your professional life a little bit more. Maybe you're undercommitting in things like your work and your business, and overcommitting on taking care of your family. That sounds really weird and backwards, but it's just kind of the vibe I'm getting with the way these cards are laid out. Family's super important. Never going to discount that. But if you want to take the next step professionally, you're going to have to find that balance a little bit more. And we're going to talk about that. We're getting to the balance part. What value am I placing on my achievements? We've got the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is typically called the Nightmare card. If you see it in the Rider-Waite, it's the one where the girl's sitting up and looks like she just woke up from a nightmare. This artist took a lot of liberties with the symbolism, but I like the cards. They're so pretty. But here there's definitely an imbalance. There's definitely conflict. But as you can see with these two characters, the conflict hasn't started yet. There's still a chance to turn back. There's still a chance to not shed blood. There's still a chance to talk about this rationally. When it comes to what value you're placing on your own achievements, I feel like there's I think you have a version of imposter syndrome going on. I think because you're so supported by your family and it's doing really well, when you try to break out and individualize yourself, you feel like you don't have as much value to bring to the table, that you, by yourself and the skills that you have and the knowledge that you have, you can't go on and just take on the world without the support and foundation that you've built at home. That's your comfort zone. That's where you do well. So I think when it comes to your achievements, you still question, what are my achievements? Like, what have I done? That's just me. With this card here, I feel like there's a lot of introspection that needs to be done. Maybe do some journaling on things that you have achieved. I know even my daily planner has a thing every month writing down the things that I've accomplished. And I like doing that because it's kind of nice to look back, because you forget what you've done. And it could be how well you've taken care of your family, but go outside of that. You know, any sort of charitable services that you've done, and helping other people, or helping a business, or helping, you know, your own growth, and be proud of those achievements. So how can I bring balance to work and life? We've got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is usually when you're a little unsatisfied with something, and the universe is trying to give you new opportunities, is trying to show you something different. The universe wants to give you what you deserve. And many times we ignore the call. Many times we either don't feel we deserve it, or it just doesn't live up to our expectations. So I think for here with the work-life balance thing, I feel the balance there is being open to new experiences, getting out of that comfort zone. You like being at home, you like being cozy, and that's cool. That's definitely a good thing. But when you want something else, when you have desires to achieve something else and to achieve more, you have to break out of that. I say all the time, like, what is on the other side of fear is everything you want. All the great things you want are on the other side of pushing your way through things you're afraid of, pushing your way through that imposter syndrome. Finding that balance is just being accepting and being open-minded. I think there's ways that you can draw from the comfort and success of your home life and bring it into your public persona. But there's a lot of fear there. So definitely just be open-minded and accepting, and you'll find that balance where you can do the things that you actually want to do while still maintaining your happy place. How are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy? So you've got the Four of Pentacles, which the Four of Pentacles can be a little stingy if we're looking at the card right side up. This symbolism here, you have this giant, beautiful house. You have this beautiful field here. And there are some little happy children, it looks like. Are they happy? Oh yeah, they're blowing bubbles. So you've got the happy children here. But this right here is the symbol of a prison. This right here is the affluence that's going on right there is not coming out into the world. It's being selfishly caged up for the few and not the many. Okay, but we have it reversed. And usually the Four of Pentacles reversed can lead to a more charitable heart. where we understand that we don't need everything. We don't need all the dollars. We don't need all the house. We don't need all the yard. We can share that. We can give it to others. We can, it's not that because you have more, they have less. The universe is abundant. There's plenty for everyone if we're looking at it the right way. So how are your actions aligned with your goals? I feel like there is more you want to do charitably, to give back. I mean, we're talking about like heart's passion and your legacy. You're here on this planet for a limited time. And although you are doing really well as far as the family life, I feel like you're unsatisfied with what you plan to leave here when you're no longer on the earth. So what does that mean to you? You gonna write a book? You gonna paint? Are you going to teach? Are you gonna build something that will last generations? So what does that mean? I think with this Capricorn season especially, we're talking about what you are trying to commit to and be responsible for. We talked about what you're overcommitting and undercommitting here. So if you're opening up things and trying to find new directions, you have to let that door open. Which brings us to the Two of Cups. Now, this one has gotten taken like great liberties too, because the Two of Cups is akin almost to like the Lover's card. It's very positive. It is true love on a card. It really, really is. Princess Bride style, let me tell you. But for some reason, we have someone running away with the cups, which is really interesting. Okay, but we're reversed. In position 6, we have what commitments am I ready to make? And I think here it's going solo for a little bit. I think based on what I'm seeing here is you do have a dependency on other people giving you praise or giving you your accolades, and you need to commit to being able to praise yourself, to being able to see those achievements in yourself, not being codependent on people seeing your achievements and just going, ooh, yay. I know that's hard, especially for those of us that grew up as feral Gen Xers and millennials, when it is so hard sometimes to get the praise that you really, really want. And when you find that source, you don't want to let it go. But it's got to come from inside you. So this tiger's eye is empowering you and telling you that it's time to just move forward and be okay and be brave that it's just you. You're not going to lose your family life. You're not going to lose your comfort zone, but you'll find something deeper if you really, really dig into it. The imposter syndrome is definitely real. I understand that too. But I have found that one of the ways to get over that is to keep practicing, keep doing. Sometimes it's going to suck. Sometimes you're going to fail. And it may feel jarring and embarrassing at first. But the more you do it, that is where you're going to see those achievements, that you've overcame the challenges instead of kind of giving up when it just got tough. And make note of those achievements. Write them down somewhere that you can look at them often and tell yourself, hey, yeah, I did that. That's awesome. It'll feel really good. So Capricorn season, full moon in Capricorn. So the moon illuminates things that are already there. It shines a light on those things. So stuff you've been thinking about for a while, I know. And you just got to, feel tough, feel empowered. Find that balance with solitude and with giving. And it'll open up some opportunities for you. So this should get you through until we get to Capricorn season in December, right? How you feeling about that? Let me know in the comments. And if you resonated with this and if you want a deeper reading, I do have personal readings on Ko-fi. I have a link in the description. But in the meantime, thank you. And I appreciate your time and see you in the next one. Hello, Group 2, Pile 2. You have selected the Victoria Regina Tarot and the Tourmalinated Quartz. I selected this because it's a pretty good Capricorn stone. It's meant to be grounding, help you clear obstacles, and bring focus and clarity, which we need in this reading. So we'll give a little shuffle. These are some big cards, as you can see. So it's going to be an interesting shuffle. It usually is. But I love these cards. They are really pretty. They are just big old mamas. Where everything's gonna fit. All right. We have the Queen of Swords reversed in what professional public patterns do I need to release? Number 2, where am I over or under committed in my responsibilities? We've got 8 of coins or pentacles. Number 3, what value am I placing on my achievements? We have the Death card. Aren't these pretty though? I love these cards. Number 4, how can I bring balance to my professional and home life? We have the 10 of Cups. Number 5, how are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy? We have the 6 of Coins. And what commitments am I ready to make? We have the Sun. Okay, we're gonna make a little more room here. Quartz there. Okay. Ready for our big old cards here. What professional or public patterns do I need to release? We have the Queen of Swords. Usually the Queen is the sovereign ruler. Swords are the element of air. So the Queen of Swords is someone that is very controlled, good communicator, orator. But in a reverse situation, it usually can be a little bit spiteful, a little bit harsh. Sometimes the words don't come out the way that you want them to, and the fact that we're going into a Mercury retrograde and then into eclipse season after that, it just means that there is going to be a lot that is lost in translation. So as far as professional patterns that we need to release, take a look at your language. Take a look at emails you send, maybe how you're posting on social media, conversations that you have at home and especially at work. And look at those patterns. Look at, are you being generous with praise? Are you overcomplicating things? Are you taking things out of context and making a situation that was probably not bad into a worse situation? So take a look at that. Definitely, as far as patterns to release, I definitely see that as someone that's probably in a leadership position, either at work or in your family, that you have a responsibility to have clear communication and doing it in a way that praises other people's efforts and achievements. This reading, just looking at these cards, I feel like there is a lot of disruption going on, and we're going to get into that a little deeper. But yeah, you were definitely called to this reading because there is a heavy message right here for you. Where am I over or under committing to my responsibilities? Eight of Coins tends to be a fairly decent card. It's usually someone that is toiling away at their job and doing it in a way that they are productive, they're growing, they're learning, they're past that apprentice stage, and they're starting to show their true skill as a creator, as someone that is building their fortune. Reverse, however, can usually mean that we're feeling stagnant, that we're feeling unproductive, that we're feeling that the efforts that we are putting into our day-to-day routine are not being rewarded. So in this position, where am I over or under committed to my responsibilities? I think you're giving a lot of energy away, is what I'm getting. I keep seeing in like a physics situation. I mean, when you split an atom, it explodes and it releases a bunch of energy. Is that energy something that's useful? I don't know. Heat energy, electrical energy, being dispersed in places that are not contained, it just dissipates, right? So maybe going back to this communication thing, maybe concerning yourself with situations that aren't helping the overall picture. You're putting more energy into things that maybe are not productive, are not geared toward your actual goals and outcomes. And it's kind of burning you out. It's kind of making you tired. And I feel like you feel busy and you feel productive, but when you look back on your day, how do you feel then? Like, did you accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish? And were those accomplishments in line with your actual goals, with the actions that you wanted to take? Or did you get some filler in there that you probably didn't need to add to your situation? Number 3 is, what value am I placing on my achievements? And we've got this beautiful Death card. And if you're familiar with the Death card, it's not necessarily scary, but it does mean transition. It means the end of one thing and the beginning of another, but in a natural and smooth way. There's usually a flower symbol in the Death card to show that from death there is new life. There is growth. Death can be scary because, it's the end of our mortal coil. And it's scary because you don't know what's happening after, but know that death is a natural thing. It's a natural transition. And this card's interesting too because we have this like organic look of the rider and the horse, and then we have this mechanical thing in the back there. This is a symbol of, like, in the past, the things that were organic and natural evolved and transitioned. We had the revolutionary age, and we're going into a technological age. Well, we're in the technological age, but we grow and evolve and advance all the time. But that organic nature of death is always there. So what value do you place on your achievements? I think here you have to be open to the projects you have finished. I think you are twirling a lot of plates. and it feels like you're doing this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing, and the act of doing feels like an accomplishment, but when things aren't complete, are they an accomplishment? Are they an achievement? So I think you need to reflect on the tasks, achievements, goals that you've worked really hard on and what you've completed. I'm thinking like college degree. I'm thinking of projects at work that may have taken months or years to complete, and they've come to fruition, and you can see that. And take stock of that. I'm always about writing down your achievements, because at the end of the day, when you look back on them, that is the story of your life. That's your legacy, right? I think you're undervaluing your achievements, and I think you need to bring them more to the surface, if that makes sense. All right, number 4, how can I bring balance to my professional and home life? And 10 of Cups is the happy family card, isn't it? It looks like you are doing a fair amount of good balance there, especially on the family side. I mean, I'm looking at these cards, and I feel like you actually probably need to put a little more effort on here, because this is your safe space and your calm space. This is your happy space. And I feel like you keep the two separated. You're spinning your wheels. You go, 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 go. Got to put food on the table. Got to make this right. And then you come home and there's calmness there. And you keep them two separate things. I think if you take some of what's working here in this home pattern that you have going on and bringing it to your work life, because you don't sweat the small stuff over here, you do over here. So I feel like, yeah, if you take some of what you know of your happy place, like take things from home and bring them to work, make your work environment more comfortable, but also treat people and speak to people more as someone that's part of your family versus just a manager or a subordinate, That's just what I'm seeing there. Number 5, how are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy? We've got 6 of coins. So if you look, 6 of coins is one of those ones where you have someone who's affluent and they are putting on a show of giving to those that are more needy, right? But they do it in a position of power. They do it in a position of, yes, look at me, I am giving you all this because I deserve to give it to you. And although there's a lot of generosity there and there's charity there, they're doing it while still being very affluent and showing everybody about it. It's like influencers on social media that do things that are for charity, but it's really to help get the views, right? But we have this reversed, which means that there is some sort of balance there, that there is a level of generosity that isn't necessarily some sort of power play, that there is something. When we say, how are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy here? I think that's when we go back to this, what we're talking about on your balance, because there is a very generous part of you where you are generous on an equal field. And I think you get so wrapped up on the haves and the have-nots. And especially, I'm just keep being sent back to work. That's just where I keep going. The hierarchy, the structure of a capitalistic environment where you have the people that make the money and the decisions on the top and all the people that work at the bottom. And I feel like you're somewhere in the middle. I feel like if you can break out of that, you will be a little more aligned. You will find a better purpose to give that energy to. But we have to get out of the mindset of work for the sake of work. We have to work on some communication skills and then go deeper into your heart to be able to find outlets for you to be charitable and giving and good, but in a way that's different than what you think you need. And then what commitments am I ready to make? We have the sun, the lovely sun, happy card, but we are reversed. So I'm feeling like you're wobbling a little bit. That you're trying to not make any commitments. Personally, I feel like it's because of this. Like you feel like overstretched. I don't know if that's the word, but I feel like you've just got too much going on. You're spinning all these plates. You in your mind feel like you don't have time to do the things that you actually want to do, which is these two things here. And there's a saying I use that it's never like I don't have enough time, it's I didn't make that a priority. And when you are sweating the small stuff, you're giving energy and power to things that are not relevant, that are not going to align with the things that you want to do to fulfill that legacy. So, hey, Tourmalinated Quartz. This is for grounding. This is for clarity and focus. Make sure we're working on grounding, clarity, and focus, and I think a lot of this will clean up. You've got some good stuff here. You really, really do. But you've got to clear away the clutter. Definitely. So this full moon reading in Capricorn should be good for about 6 months, so until next Capricorn sun season, which is in December. So your homework is to look at your communication style, see if there's anything you can change there. Bring some of the calmness of home into work and find some balance on what you could be giving that actually aligns with your values. So I hope that makes sense. And if this resonated for you, I'd love for you to put a comment below. And if you want some more in-depth personal readings, I do have a link down below with my Ko-fi where you can get a reading with me. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, Group 3, Pile 3. You picked the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck and the blue Goldstone. So sparkly. And I picked this one just because it's a good Capricorn stone, especially for what we're talking about. It's for comfort, self-acceptance, motivation. It's aligned with your throat chakra, so it's good for communication. And we're talking about your public persona, so that's going to be important. So let's do a little shuffle and get into the reading. Okay. Position 1, what professional public patterns do I need to release? We've got the moon. Number 2, where am I over or under committing to my responsibilities? We've got the devil. Oh, goodness. Number 3, what value am I placing on my achievements? We've got the 10 of stakes or wands. Number 4, how can I bring balance to my professional and home life? 3 of cups. How are my actions aligned with my goals or legacy? We've got the Chariot. And what commitments am I ready to make? We've got the Hierophant. I tell you what, guys, I shuffled these a lot before we started, and I shuffled again, and I shuffled again, and wow. We've got 4 major arcana, no reverse cards at all. So, yeah. And aren't they cute? Sorry, I love these cards. It's actually a really nice deck. It's nice quality, and they're really pretty. But anyway, on to the reading. What professional public patterns do I need to release? We have the Moon. So the Moon's a lot about, your secret self, your deep self, being reflective, and going into your inner core of yourself. Where these are professional public patterns I need to release, part of me thinks you're starting something new. Maybe a new business. Maybe you're just now coming up with some ideas. Maybe you're starting school, but I feel like you're doing something new. And you're kind of keeping it to yourself. You're not sharing that with others. Your secret agent. And if you're trying to build something, you can't always do that by yourself. When it comes to your professional and public persona, we don't live in a vacuum. We work with people. People are the greatest resource that we have on this planet, if you can find the right one. Find your tribe, right? People are fantastic resources because people genuinely want to help. And I think you're trying to do everything on your own. Either you have this idea like, I've got it, I can handle it, no big deal. Or you are embarrassed, or you don't feel like you're ready to let people know what you're trying to do. But it's here where you need to release. You need to let that go. You need to be able to accept help when it comes along. And I think that will make you feel stronger, and you'll get to your goals a lot faster that way. Where am I over or under committed to my responsibilities? We have the Devil. The Devil is all about overcommitting, right? It's about overabundance, overindulging, feeding into the material world that can be very distracting. I'm feeling a lot of distraction. I think maybe getting stuck on social media or any sort of time killer because you don't want to commit to this new thing because it takes work, it takes focus. And we're here talking about work and focus right now. But I think the distractions are sucking away the time and energy that you could be using to make this new project happen. And especially like when it comes to like maybe some like shopping, online shopping, that's what I'm feeling there too. So where it says, where am I over, under committed to my responsibilities? I mean, you're under committing to your responsibility because you're over committing to things that are not serving you right now. Just keep an eye out on that. Double check if there is maybe some stuff you can cut back on to free up your time to be able to focus on these new projects and get in touch with these people that should be helping you. Number 3, what value am I placing on my achievements? We've got the 10 of Wands. Like, that is a heavy card to have there. The story of the Wands is, Wands are fire, and they're about action, and they're about going to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And sometimes there's conflict because when you're talking about fire energy, it's always going to be conflict there. So when you get to the 10 of Wands, that's usually the completion of action. But to a point, of burden, to a point of I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked, and now all I have left is to work. And when you think about like the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands, it's very optimistic and hopeful, and the planning of things and travel, and that's exciting. And when you get to the 10, it becomes burden. It becomes doing things for the sake of have to doing things. So here, what value am I placing on my achievements? You know, not much. I think we need some time for reflection. I mean, just between these three cards here, I feel a lot of burnout in you. I mean, maybe you're escaping into social media or shopping or something like that because you just need a break from the grind, right? And living a life of I have to instead of want to. Right here, whatever this is your want to. This is something new, but because you're so burnt out and tired, you just aren't physically able to get this started, and that's where we need to get help, right? But also, when it comes to valuing your achievements, I think you need to look at the work you've done this far, the successes you've done this far, the connections you've made up to this point, and know that those were all skills that were necessary to get you to this point. But now it's time to take a breather and stop doing things for the sake of doing things. Stop saying yes to things that aren't serving you. Your achievements at this point should be the things that are making you happy and giving you energy. Okay? Then we have, how can I bring balance to my professional and home life? And we have Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is the party card, right? It's the happy card. It's about friendship. It's about celebration. And coming down here where maybe you feel alone, and I'm recommending you find your tribe, find the people that want to assist you and help you and build something in that community. You can find it. It's there. The balance will come when the people you're around lift you up and give you energy and fuel you versus draining you and making you feel like you have to do something. You have to do this. Obligation. This is obligation. This is freedom. And the difference of the people around you here is massive. So if you want to find balance, know that the people are not the enemy. Like maybe you feel obligated to so many people and it's just put so much of a drain on you. If you can let some of that go, find the people that lift you up and support you, that will bring balance. Over here we have, how are my actions aligned with my goals and legacy? We have the Chariot. And I love this Chariot card. It's a really good one. You get to see the party card too. It's so cute. Okay. So the Chariot is all about being a balanced driver, right? The traditional Chariot, you have the two lions or the two horses that are being controlled by the driver. And it takes skill to balance that. When you're driving two animals on a chariot, you know, there's a control there. Otherwise, they're going to go different directions or they're going to run into each other. So there needs to be control. There needs to be balance. There also needs to be strength. And there also needs to be a destination. There's no point in having a chariot if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know the road you're on, right? So when the question is, how are my actions aligned with my goals and my legacy? I feel like you need to let go of some of that control. so that you can obtain the goals and legacy. I think with this card here, you are too tight on the reins, too controlling. You're not leaving things to chance and letting the universe show you the path. So you get out the roadmap, you pick the destination, and then you got to let the universe guide you on that path. But have the destination. Maybe you haven't solidified what your goals are yet and what that legacy means to you. What are you going to leave here when you're no longer on the planet? You know? It's time for that passion project, because, you know, there's never going to be a good time ever, right? You just got to pick it and go. And then over here, what commitments am I ready to make? We've got the Hierophant. Oh, Giles. I think here, when it comes to commitments, because the Hierophant is a paternal figure, right? Giving advice, but an advice that is based off of tradition, that is based off of rules and regulations and the way you are supposed to do things in a certain society, right? So when it comes to what kind of commitments you want to make, I think you have to trust listening to other people's advice. I think you need to trust maybe taking on a mentor, and trust that there are some people that are probably a little better at whatever this is that you're trying to create. There are people that are probably a little better at it, that probably have really good advice. And because you're so determined in trying to do everything on your own and do everything yourself, you kind of don't allow that to enter. Maybe that starts with just listening to this reading. Hopefully there is some direction here. The big message so far is stop scrolling, stop shopping. Stop taking on everyone else's burdens. Find your tribe so they can help you with your passion project and figure out what that means to you. And let the universe kind of guide you on that versus having to feel like you have to have all the control. And with that also is let people in, let them help you in a joyful way, but also educate you and mentor you and advise you. And be okay with that. Soften yourself. Right now we need to soften. And look, we got the blue Goldstone. That's for comfort. So we need to find some softness. And that's what the moon is all about. Hey, this is a full moon reading. Get out there and look at that moon. See what the feelings are that you can feel from that. And yeah, hopefully that resonated with you. If it did, let me know in the comments. If you want something more in-depth and personal, I have my Ko-fi link in the description too, and you can get a more in-depth reading done if you like. But until next time, thanks so much for spending some time with me, and I really appreciate it, and have a good full moon in Capricorn.